are in our aloe vera field here at Casita Verde, and we're going to now make a delicious aloe vera drink. But first of all, we're just going to cut some leaves from one of the plants here. Aloe vera plants, actually, you can start using the leaves when the plant is more than 3 years old. These plants are very old, the big ones. They've been here for a long time. And as you can see by looking at this plant, the leaves grow from the middle towards the outside. And so we're going to take out the outside leaves, are the more mature leaves, and those are the ones that are ready to be eaten today. You can also see that each parent plant, each mother plant is surrounded by babies, and they habitually produce between 5 and 20 babies a year. So it's a very rentable crop to grow, because actually you can sell the babies. Sounds terrible, doesn't it? We take the babies away from the mother when they're 1 year old. We can either give them away or sell them to people who want to make their own plantation. So we leave them here until more or less October, when after the first rains have been here, and then we can plant them directly in the new place. But always with all these kind of succulent plants, the idea is as well to leave the plant out of the ground for 2 weeks at least before you plant it in its new place. Then it's very thirsty and it makes the new root system immediately. So if you do take the small plants away when they're 1 year old, these plants here are about 1 year old. In fact, let me just see if I can pull one out of the ground. I should be able to get one out without destroying it. Yes, I can take it out. And you can see it already has its roots on it, and that's a 1 year old plant ready for transplanting. Let's go back to the plant here. We're going to take some leaves from this plant. You can take around 12 leaves from each plant per year. So that's quite a good profit when you consider these plants hardly use any water. It's from the desert, this plant. The story is that it originally came from North Africa. They're all over the world now. Actually, people took them all over the world in the first place to use for curing the wounded in wars that they made. So they used to take aloe vera plants along to cure the army soldiers who had been injured in battle, because this was the only the antiseptic that they had at that time. So they used to take these plants with them, and of course, as they reproduced very quickly, they left plants all over the world as they travelled around conquering different countries, and that's why there are aloe vera plants all over the world now. This plant is called Aloe Vera barbadensis Miller. It's the most easy plant to cultivate and the most easy plant to get the jelly out of. There are in total around 250 different varieties of aloe vera plants in the world, but this is the most common one for use in juices and creams and shampoos and all that kind of thing, that's commercial use for example. So basically I'm going to take off just a couple of leaves to make a litre of aloe vera juice. I just make a very small cut here in the base of the leaf, and I tear the leaf off the plant. In that case, I don't damage either the plant or the leaf. This will now conserve for some weeks, even without refrigeration. If they would allow me to, I could just actually write my brother's address on the back here, put a postage stamp on it and send it to New Zealand, and it should arrive in perfect condition if somebody doesn't sit on it on the way. So we'll take another couple of leaves off here. We just make a little cut down here again with this knife, and you can see how easy it is to take the leaves off. And now this leaf will conserve for a long time. If you leave it in the fridge, it'll conserve for many months actually. Nothing happens to it, and it doesn't lose any of its qualities. You can see now that there's some yellow liquid that's oozing out from the base of the leaf. This is the natural protection for this plant against herbivores. These are desert plants, remember, so they have to have some defense against things like goats. If goats are wandering around in the desert and they see all these succulent plants, they're going to say, wow, it's dinner time. But they don't eat any of these at all, because between the outer skin and the jelly on the inside is a layer of this disgusting tasting yellow liquid called aloin. aloina in Spanish. And this actually, I remember when I was a child, my mother used to paint it on my fingernails so I didn't eat my fingernails. It works very well. I still eat my fingernails, but I don't paint my fingers with aloe anymore. Okay, so you can see a bit better on this plant now how the aloe has come out of there. Yeah, so the idea is when we cut these plants open and take the jelly, we don't want that to enter into the juice. That's the trick of how to cut it correctly. So we're going to go to the bar now. We're going to take these 2 aloe vera leaves and we're going to make a delicious drink with honey, lemon and mint, all from this neighbourhood. And actually with this one we're going to add some strawberries from our garden also, because then it tastes even more delicious. So here we are in the bar now, ready to prepare the next stage of the aloe vera juice. We're going to wash the leaves first, just to wash off any earth that's on there, and as much of the aloe as we possibly can. That one is now ready to go. And here's the next one. You take the leaf and you carefully cut the base off there. You come up the side of the leaf, removing the spikes off the leaf. You go back again, down the other side, and you end up with a sandwich of aloe vera. Now aloe vera is very famous for curing burns, especially if you've got sunburned or you've thrown a bucket of hot water over yourself, but it also cures a growing list of other different health problems, especially internal ones. And also it cures things like psoriasis and skin irritations especially, and you can stick it anywhere you like on your body. It's only very good for you. It can't do any damage whatsoever unless you're one of those very unfortunate people who is allergic to aloe vera, and that's about 1 in 10 million, I understand. But you need to check it before you throw it all over yourself. Just put it on your arm and see what happens. If you have a bad reaction, obviously don't eat it. Which ones they are you can find out very easily by googling aloe vera, and you'll be entertained until Christmas with all the information you're going to see. So we won't go into the great details of what's in it exactly. I'll just tell you that it's very, very good for you, has all those minerals and vitamins inside, and also it has life, and that's something they cannot create so far in a laboratory. So this is the correct way to deal with it. I've just chopped off the end, which has this disgusting tasting aloe on it, and I'm going to just start taking the top skin off the leaf now, very carefully with my knife, being ultra careful not to get the skin involved in the story, because below the skin is the layer of that yellow liquid, which I definitely don't want in the juice. And I'll end up with that piece of aloe just like that. We're going to use that later. And then this is another little trick. Just push your finger and your thumb on the thing to flatten it so that you can get the knife in there and start off the process of running the knife down the leaf of aloe vera right to the other end. And what you end up with is a fillet, a bit like a fish fillet of aloe vera. Okay, and this I'm going to put into a blender. Plop. I'm going to do another one. So of course we put the gel from 2 leaves of aloe vera inside this blender. We're going to add the juice of 2 fresh lemons into there, and we're going to put 2 big spoons of local honey into the mixture. If I can get it out of there. Big spoon 1. Yep. There we go. And another big spoon of honey. Okay, into the mixture. Lovely. Now then, we're also going to add some mint from the garden. Put some mint in here. This makes it taste really yummy, and it makes it nice and fresh, of course. Now we're going to add a quantity of water to the mixture. I'm not going to put the whole lot of water in here because otherwise it'll come out the top, but I'm going to put enough just so that it actually blends together. Okay, and then I'm going to throw, in this case, I'm going to put a load of strawberries in here from the garden, because I really like this stuff with strawberries in it, which adds a lot more vitamins, of course, and it tastes really great. Now we're going to throw it into a serving jug. at that delicious thick liquid there. Now, if you like ice in your drink, you can put some ice in here. But actually, this water's been in the freezer, so it's really cold. And now we're going to actually drink it. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to invite my friend Gabrielle here to drink some with us. And this is probably the healthiest drink you could ever drink. It's like a really good smoothie. It's got lots of aloe vera in there and lots of other goodies from the island of Ibiza. Cheers to your health. And this
Cheers.
really is the most healthy drink I've ever tasted. Okay, well, having said that aloe vera is really good for you, both inside and out, let me just explain a few things that you can do with it. Apart from the fact it's very good after sun, I mean, we can stick it on if you've been out in the sun and you've got a bit sunburned, you can stick it on your body. What I like to do is I like to put it all over my face like this. Basically, you just get it like this and you stick it all over your place. You can stick it in your eyes if you poked yourself in there. You can stick it in your ears, anywhere you like. And actually, they tell me that it's one of the best cures for hemorrhoids that exists. And how you how you treat hemorrhoids with this stuff is you cut it into thin slices, put it in the freezer, and then you can insert it exactly like a suppository where you need it. That's how it works. Okay. The other thing about it is that it's a very good natural lubricant. I won't go into more details about that, but you can imagine if you can stick it anywhere you like and it can only cure you, you can also use it in the bedroom. So in case you're wondering if you can grow aloe vera in your garden at home, I'll just say that if you live anywhere in a temperate zone, like nowhere north of Barcelona, for example, if it freezes in your country during the winter, you will not be able to grow aloe vera outside. But you can grow aloe vera in any greenhouse, even in Iceland. So you can have it as it makes a beautiful house plant as well. They don't mind being in houses. You just have to put it in the right size container, the right size pot, give it a good water once a week and keep it where it can see the sun. It likes sunshine. It's a desert plant, remember, so it likes sunshine. It won't live in a dark corner of the room. So put it in the window and give it some water once a week. It doesn't like too much water. It's not an aquatic plant, so it's from the desert. You can actually put it in a pot big enough so that it can grow some babies around and you can actually take the babies out. So a pot that's open at the top. You can put some rocks in the bottom and a mixture of sand and good compost is what it likes best, and then it will grow very well and produce a lot of leaves like these leaves, and you've virtually got your pharmacy in the house.